You look into it, and that's what the fascinating thing is. Like, why are they trying to bury Trump? You know, they try to pin him, like CNN try to pin him. They try to turn all Mexicans against Donald Trump by Donald Trump was talking about MS-13 and was saying they're animals, they're criminals, we got to get them out. So then CNN goes, look what Trump said about Mexicans. So they cut out the MS-13 part and just said they're animals, they're criminals, and we got to get them out. What does that tell you? What is that? They're trying to frame him. And then look what happened with Russian collusion. You know what's going down? The D class is about not only wasn't and isn't Trump a Russian spy, is they try to frame him with that. That's what the D class, that's what they're trying to bury. That's why they're clogging the news cycles. It wouldn't surprise me if there was, you know, like they take a schizophrenic, paranoid, crazy kid and fill him up with all this crazy shit that they need to do to drag him to a certain place, put a gun in his hand, and then have professionals do a bunch of shooting. Professionals get the fuck out of the way, and they just, you know, they got their patsy. That wouldn't shock me. Stuff like that wouldn't shock me. You know, there's you know who William Cooper is?
No.
William Cooper wrote the book Behold the Pale Horse, and he was worked for the Office of Navy Intelligence, and he figured out, he was a whistleblower, and he figured out a lot of shit. He wrote like that book, and he wrote this in the book real quick. This is 1991, he wrote this. Check this out, it's just a little paragraph. The government encouraged the manufacture and importation of military firearms for criminals to use. This is intended to foster a feeling of insecurity which would lead the American people to voluntarily disarm themselves by passing laws against firearms, using drugs and hypnosis on mental patients in a process called Orion. The CIA inoculated the desire in these people to open fire on schools and thus inflame the anti-gun lobby. This plan is well underway and so far is working perfectly. The middle class is begging the government to do away with the Second Amendment. Wrote that in 1991. It's what they do. They get some crazy kid, fill him up with all this propaganda. Anybody they want to blame it on. If they want to blame it on Castro, they could take a crazy guy, make him like a Castro fanatic, get him all crazy. They can't trust him to kill anybody because he's just crazy. Who knows what he's going to do? They just have to put him in the scene of the crime. They get some professionals, shoot up the place. They're all saying multiple shooters. Witnesses are saying there was multiple shooters. They're dressed in black. They look like professionals. San Bernardino, same thing. That's what people are saying. I don't know. That's what the witnesses are saying, people that were there. So it wouldn't shock me if those shootings, they did happen. People died. People got their lives ripped apart and destroyed. But wouldn't you want to find out, like, who exactly did it? If you found out your mom got murdered, and then the cops told you it was Joe, but then other people kept telling you, dude, it was Lee. It was Lee. Wouldn't you want to find out? Wouldn't you want to find out how it really went down? Instead of going, don't you say the cops said it was Joe? Don't disrespect me like that. The cops. And he goes, dude, gotta look into Lee, man.
So is it?
You know what I mean? But people get angry when you're saying, dude, what the official story is saying, man, there's witnesses saying there was multiple shooters. Don't you want to know how it really went down?
There's been 240 something shootings. You know, something's not right. Something's not adding up.
And they all, when you look at all those shootings, they all happen right at a time where people are going down. Some people are going to testify. All of them. There's a list. But this is supposed to happen. This person's supposed to testify. Boom, shooting. This person's supposed to testify. Boom, shooting. What they do, they clog. They don't even, like, you know, all this gun control talk. It's almost like they don't even care really that much about, you know, passing gun control laws. It's not really about that. It's about arguing about that. Taking up your time. Everyone has a certain amount of time to look into shit. So if they make, it seems like they're, if it seems like it's sloppy on purpose, so all the conspiracy theorists could talk about it and spend a lot of time making podcasts about it and listen. That's what they want. It's like, talk about it. Yeah, sure they want gun control, and sure they're gonna piggyback on top of that. While we're at it, we might as well add a couple more gun control laws or whatever. But it's not about that. It's about clogging up the news cycle. Think about the shit that's going down right now. The proof that Trump got framed for Russia is coming out. That's coming out. And people are getting busted. They're going down for it. Boom. Shootings happen, 2 of them. Clogs up the news cycles. Everyone's talking about gun control, gun rights, and while we're on gun rights, there's nobody that can convince me that it makes sense for me to give up my guns that I have at my house just in case that alarm goes off and someone breaks in. Me and my wife got plans. We got the plan. We talk about it. That alarm goes off, someone's fucking getting shot, right? So some crazy kid hopped up on pills, goes shoots up a mall. Does it make sense that I give up my guns because he did that? That does not make any sense, that I have to give up my guns because there's some crazy people out there shooting people. I need my guns even more now. So there's no way anybody will ever convince me that it makes sense for me to give up my guns because some crazy kid shot up a mall. Like, it makes zero sense. How does that make any sense? That doesn't make any sense.
Now, how would you start? I mean, obviously all the gun violence are these fucking rifles, these high-powered rifles with fucking automatic clips and 250 fucking rounds and all this shit. How do we start to chip away at this?
If I had a bazooka, you wouldn't have to worry about me. It's like, 80,000 people, 90,000 people a year die from car accidents. How come we're not trying to get rid of cars? And what about the 800,000 kids that go missing every year? No one gives a shit. What about that? What about all the kids that are getting raped on that Epstein Island? Where's your hashtag Me Too right there? Why is it only hashtag Me Too if it's some fucking out of work aging actress who said that some fucking producer grabbed her tits in 1972? Oh, Me Too that? Oh, Me Too that. Let's Me Too that. But what about all these kids? 800,000, that's an FBI statistic. 800,000 to 1 million kids go missing. And then sure, people go, they'll fight they don't want to, they'll go, but most of those are like the dad stealing the kids away and the divorce and all that. I'm like, okay. 800,000, let's just say 750,000 are those cases, are like, a domestic dispute and they steal the kid or whatever. If it was 20,000 kids a year to get kidnapped and nobody gives a fuck.
We're going in like fucking Marines, you understand me?
Welcome to church, motherfucker.